little bit for the rest of our two topics because we still have one major topic, right? So we have right now, if we get on to the next paragraph after our research paragraphs, it's about teaching and teaching assistantship and coursework, right? So yeah, maybe Bilal and Harris can start talking about it and maybe have like a quick 3-minute talk because it's very important for us to discuss the last topic, which is how to approach faculty at a different university, telling them you want to work for them. Okay, Bilal, Harris, you guys can begin with, yeah.
अच्छा, तो मैंने अपने लास्ट पैराग्राफ में आई थिंक मैंने टीएचएस मेंशन की थी। हाँ, मैंने की हुई है। अच्छा, मैं साथ में शेयर कर देता हूँ। अच्छा, मैंने टीएचशिप से मगर इनको मैंने अच्छा यहाँ पे एक लाइन होगी दिस वन। अच्छा तो आप भी कुछ ऐसा ऐड कर सकते हो, एटलीस्ट इससे आई फील कि काफी डिफरेंट हो जाएगी आपकी ऐसे एज कम्पेयर टू अदर, क्योंकि बाकी नॉर्मली मोस्टली ये करते हैं कि सिंपली आपकी अपनी बस टीएचशिप वगैरह मेंशन कर देते हैं। तो मैंने एक चीज मतलब इसको इस तरह प्रेजेंट किया था, लाइक आई एम गिविंग बैक टू द कम्युनिटी बेस। तो मैंने टीएचएस वगैरह अपनी सारी मेंशन की थी उसमें, मगर हाँ अगर आप उसको ऐसे इस तरह कन्वे कर सकते हो ना तो आई फील कि ज्यादा बेटर होगा। और बाकी या मैंने आई थिंक हाँ मैंने बस टीएचशिप से स्टार्ट किया था और बाकी फिर लास्ट पे इसे मैंने एक चीज और ऐड कर दी थी कि हम एशियन सिक्कॉम के लिए हमने जो किया नहीं था, खैर अच्छा हाँ एशियन सिक्कॉम, मगर हम उस ग्रुप का पार्ट थे। तो लाइक ये था कि हाँ उसमें हमारा काम ये था कि हमने एशियन सिक्कॉम के about Asian Sikkim, which like we had to create awareness about it among the CS students in Pakistan. But हमने इस पर थोड़ा बहुत काम किया था, मैं ज्यादा कर नहीं पाए थे क्योंकि टाइम का मसला था, हमें भी टाइम निकल नहीं पा रहा था। बट ये अगर कुछ ऐसा कुछ किया हुआ है, किसी को वॉलंटियर किया हुआ है या कुछ भी ऐसा कोई मे बी लाइक जैसे कि एल्विक वाले सेशंस, आई फील कि आप लाइक ये भी ऐड कर सकते हो। तो हाँ लाइक टीएचशिप से स्टार्ट कर लो, टीएचशिप मेंशन कर दो और उसके बाद अगर कुछ भी कोई भी एक्टिविटी लाइक में भी हाँ जैसे एल्विक वाले सेशंस हो गए, कुछ भी जैसे कोई वॉलंटियर वर्क हो गया। और उसके अलावा मगर ये है कि उसको थोड़ा एकेडमिक वाली साइड पे देखना, अगर हाँ कोई एकेडमिक है तो उसको ऐड कर दो इस वाले पैराग्राफ में। इसके अलावा हाँ आई थिंक मैंने तो बस यही ऐड किया था। बिलाल, डू यू हैव एनीथिंग एल्स टू ऐड?
Yeah, so मेरा ये सीन था कि actually I did stuff about like bug hunting, bug bounty वगैरह, vulnerability analysis. So उसका so there were and then there were 3 small paragraphs instead of 1 large paragraph. So what I added in those paragraphs, for the first one was really, let me just share my screen. Haris, okay, so the first one was actually about the vulnerabilities that I had found in the local labs of For example, I had found few vulnerabilities in the Baikia, and there was a COVID contact tracing app. I mentioned those vulnerabilities, and since this was related to the systems and security research as well, so I mentioned those, and I mentioned how it actually impacted the community. Like there was the data of more than million people, and this work was quite related to my previous research project as well, where I had mentioned that I was working on the security landscape of the third world countries. So yeah. So then I mentioned then there were 2 other parts. In one part I actually mentioned about the coding things that I had done outside my academic work. So one was the Madadgaard thing that we did over the summer. So this was a blood donation app, and the other was Softonics project. Softonics thing, that this was a big system that was already running in the commercial market, and it was catering about 1 lakh plus salesmen. So I mentioned that so just trying to mention how impactful it was, for how that this was working at a large scale. I was mentioning that this was working at a large scale, and how I made changes to this system. So this is what I mentioned, and at the end I mentioned my teaching assistant experience, because this is always something that matters if you are working. So if you don't have enough research to fill out your SOP and you are applying for a PhD, it is always good to add your teaching assistant experience. So these are the things I mentioned. And yeah, again, since this was summer related, our work was related to my PhD program was related to systems as well. So this part mostly focused on how I actually tiered a systems course or an architecture course, and what kind of contributions I made over there. Yeah.
I think I have similar takes on this as well. That being said, everybody does a TAship, so इतने कोई extraordinary नहीं होती, इतना time spend करने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. Like if I were to show you my paragraph, which is super small, this is exactly what I've mentioned. मैंने coursework और teaching experience को सब एक साथ couple in कर दिया है. मैंने कोई courses भी इतने mention नहीं किए हैं because मेरी CV पे वो सारे courses के पूरे नाम थे. तो मैंने सिर्फ इसको wholesome बनाने के लिए I just told them, जैसे Haris बता रहे थे about his line, that one sentence was really wholesome, right? That's what I ended up doing as well. And I feel like you should not be spending a lot of time on this one because TAship सब करते हैं और coursework में just highlight 2-3 courses जो relevant to you. Especially if you've taken an advanced math course, right? Especially for systems and numbers, if you've taken applied probability, do mention it. I've heard Dr. Hassan speak really good things about mentioning that. It's a good skill to have. Okay, let's move on to the final thing, which I feel like is important. That how to, okay, so अब आपके पास शुरू में introduction हो गया, which we have a brief idea of what to do. Then we have research projects. We know that we have to think about which one's important, which one's not, and use our words and our skills accordingly, right? कुछ भी किया हो, we have to mention it. Then we have our teaching and coursework, जो briefly आप बता दो, try to make it as light as possible, and definitely mention anything extraordinary like that sitcom volunteering. It's super cool, and do it. Final paragraph में, which is the conclusion, don't repeat anything what you said, because you've also mentioned a little bit of what you wanted to do on the introduction, फिर आपने पूरा paragraph उसके ऊपर किया. Conclusion पे repeating would be like a third time, right? So I mean, if you want to go ahead, but इतनी कोई detail में नहीं कि आप हर चीज को equally touch कर रहे हो, right? That being said, once you have your writing closing towards the end, you got that sentence which you know to close in towards the end, then you have to make that SOP personal to the university. And the way you do it is by listing some people you are interested in working with, right, at the university. What that means is you're going to be needing a few minutes for every university, maybe like 60 or 90 or like 180 or whatever. And you'll have to sit and see which professors you like, see which interests match, and then write down their names. And writing down names is also not as, obviously, मतलब नाम सबके लिख दो तो वो तो कोई registry type हो जाती है ना, instead of making it personal. So to make it personal, you say why you want to work with that person. You can say that on their website, I saw this particular project, which I feel like is very relevant. Yeah, I might be able to contribute to it. Yeah, I feel very deeply about this concern, and so I want to work with them on this. So this is just the general gist of the expectations of this paragraph. So you're concluding, you maybe write one sentence to get everything in towards the end, but then you definitely do have to mention the people you're talking to, the people you want to work with. इसके अंदर I think जो standard practice है वो ये है कि 3 लिख दो, लेकिन अगर कम ज़्यादा accordingly जितने भी हैं मतलब लिख दो. I mean, it's not like you can blurt out random stuff, right? Because I mean, the professor would be reading this. So if you try to make stuff about what he's trying to do, then he will ask you. Especially अगर आप कोई चीज अजीब से लिखो ना, फिर जब वो आपको इंटरव्यू के लिए बुलाएंगे ना, वो पूछेंगे कि आप क्या सोच रहे थे जब आपने ये लिखा है, right? So yeah, that being said, I think I'll let Haris and Bilal speak for now, and then maybe I can do an example of how to see if a faculty is good or not, because I think I know a little bit about this.
Yeah, you can go. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So in the last part, again, I guess Mamali has covered most of the stuff, but yeah, you talk about you talk about the professor that you are mainly targeting, and you talk about your PI, your main advisor that you want to apply for. So, and you mentioned how your work is somehow related to how your work actually prepares you for the kind of research that they are doing, and how it would be a good idea to hire you. Just so it in my opinion, from my experience, what I did in my last paragraph, it is just the last paragraph is just about telling them that how you would be a good fit for their research, and yeah, you like their research, this So you just have to do a little bit of extensive research on their work, what they are trying to do to write the last paragraph. So a lot of you would be writing a general SOP and then sending it to multiple universities. So at least for this last paragraph, try to research on each universities and try to research on your professors and try to get an idea of exactly what they are working on.
So one thing that I would recommend doing is जो आपका जो मेन एडवाइजर है जिसको आप टारगेट कर रहे हो, like जिससे आपका सबसे ज्यादा रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट अलाइन कर रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए आई फील कि उसके लिए एक अलग से पैराग्राफ लिखता हो. लाइक मेरे जो नीचे लास्ट पैराग्राफ है उसमें मैंने बाकी तो प्रोफेसर्स का नाम लिखा हुआ है जिनके साथ भी मेरे करते हैं, मगर मेन प्रोफेसर मैं इसको टारगेट कर रहा था तो मैंने उस पर एक कंप्लीट पैराग्राफ लिखा है. तो मैंने लाइक अपनी रिसर्च को साथ अलाइन किया है एक्चुअली. लाइक मैंने उसको लाइक बताया कि ओवरलैप कहाँ हो रहा है और यहाँ पे इस पे मैं काम करना चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पे ओवरलैप हो रहा है तो इस पे मैं फोकस करना चाहूंगा रिसर्च पे. तो हाँ, अगर कोई ऐसा प्रोफेसर है, एडवाइजर है जिसका रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट आपसे काफी मैच कर रहे हैं, तो आई वुड से कि उसके लिए अलग से स्पेशल पैराग्राफ लिख दो, क्योंकि वो शायद अपना जैसा ये वाला प्रोफेसर होगा उसने भी प्रोफाइल देखी होगी, तो वो इसने अपना नाम यहाँ पे देखा तो शायद उसने सिर्फ ये पैराग्राफ रीड किया. पॉसिबल है उसने सारा ना रीड किया, उसने सिर्फ ये पैराग्राफ रीड किया और उसे पता है कि इसने अगर अच्छा इससे मेरे से रिलेटेड काम किया हुआ है तो आपके चांसेस काफी इंक्रीज हो जाते हैं. तो आई वुड रिकमेंड कि हाँ एक पैराग्राफ अलग से लिखो उसके लिए जो आपका मेन एडवाइजर है, और फिर बाकी जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ है हाँ उसमें आप फिर बाकी जो दो या एक जिसका जितना भी नाम हो, तो काफी दफा ये होता है कि मेरे साथ हुआ था कि यूनिवर्सिटीज में मतलब आपको नहीं मिलते कि जिनके साथ आप रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट अलाइन कर रहे हो. मुझे लाइक किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में सिर्फ 2 मिले थे, पता नहीं कौन सी थी, बॉस्टन में थी शायद. तो कह रहे हाँ 2 के नाम लिख दो, जरूरी नहीं है कि आप 3 के लिखो या 4 के लिखो. तो हाँ मगर लाइक हाँ नॉर्मली 3 के लिखते हैं, अगर ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है तो खैर इतना मसला नहीं होता. तो हाँ मैंने बाकी फिर लास्ट पे 2 अलग प्रोफेसर के नाम लिख दिए थे और फिर बाद में लास्ट पे आप 1-2 लाइन ऐड कर देते हो कि यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन. तो लाइक ये आप यहाँ पे कुछ भी ऐड कर सकते हो, 2-3 लाइन अबाउट यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन, लाइक व्हाई यू वांट टू गो फॉर यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन. तो हाँ बस आई फील यही था. that's all from my side.
What I do want to add on, जो मैं पिछली बात करी थी, is like the process of finding which person is relevant to you, it gets very overwhelming. Like I remember beyond a point, मुझे तो ये भी समझ नहीं आया था कि मेरा क्या interest है, उनका क्या है, how will we overlap. That being said, websites are not too representative of the people, and अगर आपको generally भी लगता है ना कि interest match करते हैं, it's not a bad thing to explore. What I do want to go over right now is so this was some advice I got, and based on my experience after coming over here as well, look for people. Okay, so you have different life goals, and there are different reasons why you want to join the PhD, right? So you might want to have like an easy PhD, you might want to have a difficult one, so you're like so rigorous and you can accomplish more and publish more and all that, right? And your advisor defines a lot of that, because आपकी तो मेहनत है ही है, एडवाइजर की भी मेहनत जाती है आप पे, उसने भी काम करना होता है तब जाके, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आप डायरेक्टली उनसे लर्न कर रहे होते हो, एंड इफ यू अगर वो ही इतना काम नहीं कर रहे तो आप कैसे लर्न करोगे, मतलब यू हैव टू फाइंड डिफरेंट रिसोर्सेज, राइट? you have to do like extra work. So if I were to give my humble opinion, I would say to stay clear of these super high end people like professors हो गए, बहुत जो accomplished लोग होते हैं ना, जो इतने active भी नहीं है, उनसे मतलब दूर ही रहो. Because at least for me, like I want to join the academia after, and those people are not able to provide me enough rigor कि मैं इतनी publications कर लूँ to get where I want. So as somebody who does want to go into the academia, a lot of people have told me that what I'm looking for is like maybe an assistant professor or like a very, very, very new professor, because, you know, they have to prove themselves. They have to prove to the department that I am a good investment and the salary you pay me is worth it. तो वो इतनी मेहनत कर रहे होते हैं जिसके अंदर आपका बहुत फायदा होता है, क्योंकि एडवाइजर बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करता है. If your advisor does not know how to publish in good conferences, so you can forget about publishing at good conferences too, unless you're working like maybe 5 times as harder as everybody else who's publishing at the conferences, right? Because you don't have the support that your advisor is able to help you because he does not know. दूसरी चीज एडवाइजर के बारे में जो होती है ना, इट्स लाइक दिस इज सम कन्वर्सेशन you should be having with your potential advisor, because you will definitely have an interview with him. कुछ एडवाइजर्स अच्छे होते हैं इस मामले में कि दे वर्क विद द इंडस्ट्री एंड वो इंश्योर करते हैं आपकी इंटर्नशिप्स लगे. कुछ एडवाइजर ऐसे होते हैं जो कहते हैं इट इज योर जॉब टू लुक फॉर एन इंटर्नशिप. कुछ एडवाइजर्स ऐसे होते हैं हु ओनली वांट टू मीट यू वंस अ मंथ. कुछ एडवाइजर्स ऐसे होते हैं हु वांट टू मीट यू एवरी सेकंड डे एंड आस्क व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. एंड इट इज अ वेरी गुड thing to ask your advisor about what sort of person they are. And believe me, they will lie, because you will be lying at that point too. People will tell you things. So you need to ask the same questions to your students as well about their thing. And the other thing that you need to see is be smart about the whole situation. Their publication history is very important. Like, I will share an example.
अगर आपका लाइक फंडिंग का लाइक आपको फंडिंग ऑफर नहीं होगी, मतलब जैसे ऑफर आई है मगर आपको फंडिंग उन्होंने नहीं दी, क्योंकि मेरे साथ ही हुआ है. तो अच्छा वो मैं बता रहा था ना कि नॉट ऑल पीएचडी, तो मेरा पीएचडी ही था और मुझे फंडिंग नहीं मिले थे. तो उसके लिए मैं कहूंगा कि लाइक आप क्योंकि न्यू प्रोफेसर को टारगेट करोगे ना, तो मैं ये मसला होता है कि उनके पास शायद फंडिंग थोड़ी कम हो उस टाइम पे. लाइक वो क्योंकि वो उनको करंट जो उनके स्टूडेंट्स होंगे वो उनको ऑब्वियसली प्रेफर करेंगे और यू. तो उसके लिए आप जो होते हैं ना सीनियर प्रोफेसर उनको टारगेट कर सकते हो. लाइक मैंने भी यही किया था, मैंने काफी प्रोफेसर्स को ईमेल कर दी थी और एट द एंड मुझे काफी सीनियर प्रोफेसर ने फंडिंग ऑफर की थी, क्योंकि उसके पास थी फंडिंग, उसके पास अच्छी खासी फंडिंग थी. क्योंकि जूनियर प्रोफेसर ये होता है वो कहते हैं कि अच्छा आपने हमारे साथ कोई कोर्स लिया होना चाहिए, आपको एक सेमेस्टर लगाना चाहिए यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन में, तब हम आपको आरएसशिप ऑफर कर देंगे. बट जो दूसरे प्रोफेसर थे उन्होंने पता नहीं मतलब उन्होंने मुझे कर दी बिल्कुल लास्ट टाइम पे की थी. लाइक 15th of April डेडलाइन थी ऑफर एक्सेप्ट करने की, मुझे 15th of April को ही फंडिंग की ईमेल आई थी. तो या अगर फंडिंग के इश्यूज हैं तो हाँ, तो फिर डेफिनेटली अप्रोच सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स. मतलब सबको अप्रोच करो बेसिकली आई वुड से, ये ना कि सीनियर प्रोफेसर हो तो इसको नहीं करना, सबको करो. वैसे और कहीं नहीं होता, मेरे ख्याल सिर्फ यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन है जहाँ पे ये होता है कि आपको पीएचडी में भी फंडिंग नहीं मिलती.
तो दो जगहों का सुना है मैंने, एक
अच्छा.
यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन एंड वीटेक के अंदर भी एक पीएचडी का एडमिशन है सलमत का, वो भी बगैर फंडिंग के था. बट आई गेस ये कोरोना वाला साल की वजह से हुआ था. इट डज नॉट लीड हैपन.
प्रोबब्ली मगर यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन नहीं करता. क्योंकि ये होता है यूडब्ल्यू मेडिसिन में होता है सर कि वहाँ पे ना हर साल हमारा एक बंदा जाएगा जिसको वो गारंटीड फंडिंग देंगे. सही है, मतलब कि उसको 4 साल की गारंटी देंगे कि तुम्हें फंडिंग मिलेगी और वो टीएशिप्स के थ्रू मिलती है आपको ना. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे इनका यही होता है कि यहाँ पे सभी रिकमेंड करते हैं कि आप यहाँ पे आओगे, पहले सेमेस्टर का आपको पे करना पड़ेगा, बट उसके बाद आपको टीएशिप्स आराम से मिल जाती हैं. मगर ये भी होता है कि आप अगर अप्लाई करो ना तो आपको टीएशिप्स फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में मिल जाएगी, क्योंकि वो मगर मसला उसमें ये होता है कि जो टीएशिप के डिसीजंस होते हैं वो समर्स में आते हैं. तो समर्स तो आपको पता नहीं होता कि मैं ऑफर एक्सेप्ट करूँ नहीं करूँ, क्योंकि आपके पास उस वक्त फंडिंग नहीं होती. तो यार
If I were to like just give one piece of advice throughout this whole process is to communicate to everybody, to different professors. There's no harm in asking. There's no harm in putting out your very weird suggestion out to them. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा उन्होंने reply नहीं करना, which I mean कोई बात नहीं. It's very common for professors to not do that. But never ever shy away from talking to a person, from contacting the department, or from just doing anything. Like I mean, if Harsh did that, he would not get any funding. But I mean, I'm so in awe of, like, you know, he talked to so many people and he did end up getting what he did. Like, I mean, I hear about him every day from one of our mutual friends about how wonderful Harsh's advisor is. So talk and like just see how things are. Talking really helps. Okay, so do we have any questions over here? Somebody who wants to discuss a very
by the way, I would just like to add one last one. So this is something that my advisor told me in the initial days of starting the PhD. He told me that everyone on the internet who has an email address or who has a professional account or who has a website is someone you can contact. Like there's this concept in our mind that someone who is like pretty accomplished might not reply to us. So, but this is what you mentioned, that what is the worst thing that could happen? You might not reply, but yeah. So everyone who has an email address and who you think might be helpful for your work or for your application, just contact him. People usually reply, and yeah.
Okay, so I have this question in the chat about, my question is about funding in PhD. Are we able to sum as well? Are we able to save some as well? Or is it a tight hand for a month situation if we're depending only on our stipend? I think this is a good question. And I think it's great that you're thinking about that. And the very clear answer to this is it depends. Because, so as we all might know, New York is a super expensive place to live in. And New York में जितना भी stipend हो वो match नहीं कर सकता according to living. दैट बीइंग सेड, आपका एडवाइजर कभी भी आपको कोई पार्ट टाइम जॉब नहीं अलाउ करेगा कि आप जाके स्टारबक्स में कॉफी बना रहे हो और साथ साथ उसका काम भी कर रहे हो, उसने कभी भी आपको ये करने नहीं देना, ठीक है। मतलब फिर जो पैसे होते हैं ना वही पैसे होते हैं, मतलब ये कोई सीन नहीं है कि आप अलग से कुछ कर रहे हो। आई मीन इफ यू वांट टू गेट इनटू बिटकॉइंस एंड स्टफ तो वो आप कर सकते हो, वो आपकी अलग सीन है। बट बीइंग इन द यूएस, सबसे पहली बात तो यू वोंट इवन बी अलाउड टू वर्क आउटसाइड द यूनिवर्सिटी, और दूसरी बात है आपके एडवाइजर ने कभी भी आपको ये नहीं कहना कि आप जाके डिश वॉशिंग करो और वहां से आपको पैसे आएंगे, ठीक है, वो कभी भी नहीं कहेगा। लेकिन फिर जो सेविंग की बात आती है ना, if I want to share some numericals about myself, let's say I earn $2,000, which I do every month, I get $2,000. उसके बाद आधा तो मतलब मेरा रेंट में चला जाता है एंड यूटिलिटीज में चला जाता है। You can obviously save, obviously depending upon your lifestyle as well. I mean, if you're okay with having like 4 roommates and paying like quarter of what I do, तो आप कर सकते हो, मतलब there's no harm in that. But if I'm talking just personally about myself, so my money goes there. And then obviously with utilities and rent aside, I have, let's say, obviously groceries लेनी होती हैं, खाना खाना होता है, बाहर जाना होता है, तोहफे लेने होते हैं, सब कुछ करना होता है, एंड हो जाता है मेरे स्टाइपेंड पे, क्योंकि अरबाना शैम्पेन इज अ स्मॉल सिटी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे इतनी कोई पैसे के ऑप्शन नहीं है स्पेंड करने के, मतलब लिटरली इफ आई वांट टू गो आउट फॉर फूड, द मैक्सिमम आई कैन स्पेंड इज लेट्स से $20, बिकॉज इससे महंगी और कोई जगह है ही नहीं। But if I were in Chicago with the same money, I can probably get a meal for $150 as well, right? So you see where this is getting at. It's like if you're concerned about money as well, then maybe a smaller town would be better for you, because वहाँ पे definitely आप save कर सकते हो. One thing I've really heard amongst the locals over here is like University of California, Berkeley is really bad in terms of stipend, because वहाँ पे prices are insane. Like I know this girl who spent her undergrad over there, and she said that she had like 3 roommates and she had to pay like $3,000 for her apartment every month with 3 roommates, which is an insane amount of money. I mean, आप इसको 170 से मल्टीप्लाई कर लो, इतना वो किराया देती थी एक महीने का with sharing her apartment, not even like अकेले luxury में रह रही हो, right? So वो area match नहीं करता. This is why she didn't continue her PhD over there, because she felt like no, money was important to her, and then she's like, I do not want to live below poverty level in Berkeley. NYU might not be a good option for you if you are concerned about, because I mean, I understand people want to send back money to their homes as well. Like some people are privileged enough to not have to do that, but some people unfortunately have to go through it. So pick and choose where you're going, and that will help. यहाँ पे अपने लोग बहुत ज़्यादा geography basis पे decisions लेते हैं. Like I probably will come across people जो Urbana Champaign सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं आए थे क्योंकि Urbana Champaign is a pathetic place to live in very simple words, and काफी मैटर करता है. तो you should obviously, हम इस बारे में इसलिए नहीं सोचते because we don't know America itself. But if you even remotely do know it, if you have the resources of that, yeah, if you have an idea about, obviously everybody knows the big cities, right? Everybody knows LA is gigantic, it's a good place to be in, but nobody knows Urbana Champaign, so it should be a good deduction that it's not such a good place to live. So make those deductions, make those decisions based on that. I think it would help.
But sometimes universities actually मतलब consider करती हैं कि like जैसे हमें नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न वाली जो ऑफर थी उसमें हमें स्टाइपेंड उन्होंने ऑफर की थी $3,300 पर मंथ, राइट? तो उसमें आपका बोस्टन में अच्छा खासा गुजारा हो जाएगा, क्योंकि $3,300 इज अ लॉट, मतलब कि अगर आप बोस्टन में भी रह रहे हो तो आप गुजारा कर लोगे. मगर आप ऐसे सिमिलरली अगर आप जैसे आप यहाँ पे यूनिवर्सल मेडिसिन में है तो हमें वही 2K मिल रहा है, $2K पर मंथ, राइट? तो हाँ, लेकिन क्योंकि देखो उन्होंने वो खुद ही कंसिडर कर लिया था कि ये बोस्टन में रह रहे होंगे तो हम इनको $1,300 एक्स्ट्रा देंगे, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि वहाँ पे सब कुछ एक्सपेंसिव है. तो कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज होती हैं कि हाँ, जैसे नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न के अलावा आई थिंक बोस्टन भी है जो काफी स्टाइपेंड ऑफर करती है, लाइक मेरे ख्याल से बोस्टन 3K USD करती है, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि यहाँ पे एक्सपेंसिव है सब कुछ, तो वो उस हिसाब से ही करते हैं. मगर कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज फंडिंग के मामले में इतना ऑफर नहीं करती, वो सेम ही 2K वगैरह ही देंगे. आई थिंक कैलिफोर्निया में ही होता है कि लाइक आई थिंक 2K ही देती है, इससे ऊपर नहीं जाती, और कैलिफोर्निया सुपर एक्सपेंसिव. तो या हाँ, मगर ये कि जनरली आपको गुजारा हो जाता है आराम से और आप सेव भी कर लेते हो. अगर मैं अपना बताऊं तो मेरा लाइक 2K पर मंथ मिलता है और मेरा लाइक एक्सपेंसेस होंगे अराउंड अपर बाउंड है कि $1,200. हाँ, बाकी सेविंग्स ही होता है.
हाँ, बट उसमें ये है कि वो वाला टैक्स वगैरह मिला लें, वो भी हर स्टेट का थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल इंडियाना, मैं इस वक्त इंडियाना में, इंडियाना इज लाइक द मोस्ट, ये जो होता है ट्रम्प वाली साइड है, जो भी राइट वाली, तो यहाँ पे टैक्सेस काफी कम है. तो इसके अलावा कुछ स्टेट्स के अंदर टैक्सेस, कैलिफोर्निया में आई गेस टैक्सेस काफी ज्यादा होंगे एज कम्पेयर टू दैट. तो उसके बावजूद यहाँ सेविंग यहाँ पे करना बहुत आसान है. अगेन मतलब 700 500 से 1000 के दरमियान में सेविंग हो सकती है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हाउ किस तरह से तुम अपना लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन कर रहे हो। तो ये मेरा बॉस्टन का भी एक वक्त पे मूड बन रहा था, और वहां पे मेरे एक सीनियर से बात हुई थी, तो he told me that he was an Indian guy. He told me that it is not like you can't live a luxurious life over there. Most of the time the stuff that he was eating was either cooked by himself or the frozen food that he was eating. So what he told me was the pretty pathetic situation of living as compared to what people are living in UIUC or over here in West Lafayette, or even even at Harris Place. But yeah, so if you go to a small place, there's a higher margin for saving up. Yeah, but again, you are missing out on all those big city experiences, because यहाँ पे करने को कुछ नहीं है, तो पैसे कहाँ से लगे?
Yeah, another thing I do want to add is ये question आपको जरूर अपने advisor के student से पूछना चाहिए, वो obviously ज़्यादा better बताएंगे, और maybe अगर कोई local Americans को आप जानते हो, maybe cousins के friends या old friends who are living in the area, because काफी general होता है, मतलब once you're in America within a few years, you know हर जगह की local क्या होता है, like क्या बातें होती हैं, क्या popular है, like you know, तो उनसे भी पूछ check करो। दूसरा ये scene है, what I really want to mention is what sort of people should you expect to meet during the process, right? So सबसे पहले तो आपके advisors होगा, you have your application in. With that done, आपके advisor के साथ interview होगा. अगर नहीं होगा तो you should meet him and you should ask him a bunch of questions. You should also Google what questions to ask your advisors. You get some really wonderful lists that are wonderful, like ask those questions. उसके बाद I don't know वो introduce करवाएगा कि नहीं, but you have to make sure आप उसके student से मिल रहे हो. क्योंकि सबसे पहली बात जो मैंने आपको बताई थी, एडवाइजर आपका झूठ बोल रहा होगा उस वक्त, he's going to lie about a lot of things. Obviously he wants to look good as well, nobody wants to look bad, right? So you will confirm all of that information with the students, and obviously students will also be super reserved. Like do not expect them to flat out say कि my advisor is from hell, he's a demon, I hate him. वो कभी भी ये नहीं कहेंगे. But you have to make sure कि like आप questions ऐसे पूछो कि उनका answer ऐसा हो कि certainly वो अपनी expressiveness desires को express कर दें, ठीक है? But what my point over here is, you have to meet the students, you have to meet the advisor, you have to meet the students, and you have to ask this question to them. It's important.
Yeah, so one more thing is that something that I did not consider while I was having an interview on the RA-ship and this funding stuff with my professor. I thought that the option that he was giving me was a good enough option, and like I was too excited about the university. And I think when you guys are doing the interviews and you are at that stage, always consider that this is a two-way street. He's not only hiring, he's also trying to hire good talent and as less of funding as he can get, like not too much, too less, but he's also trying to hire good students with less funding. So always try, even if that is your first priority university, if you have secured an admission and it has reached the point where you are discussing funding, always try to up the game a little bit and try to go for like try to do negotiation like you do with your job as well. So yeah, so probably just don't go with the first offer that you get for the funding. It might be a good idea to negotiate over there a bit.
One other thing that I do want to add is कुछ लोग काफी ये feel करते हैं कि they have to be eternally grateful to their advisor because A वो fund कर रहे हैं उन्हें, B वो क्या कहते हैं, मतलब उसने एक पाकिस्तान की छोटी सी यूनिवर्सिटी से एक बच्चे को रखा है और उसको अमेरिका बुलाया है. You have to get that idea out of your mind. Take it, throw it in the garbage, burn it, do everything with it, because this is a two-way street. आप उसे इतना अर्न नहीं कर रहे होगे जितना वो आपकी पब्लिकेशन से, आपकी लेबर से कर रहा होगा. तो never ever, I know somebody who feels this way. This is why I'm telling you, do not feel that way. Even if it's somebody जो आपको लगता है बहुत ही ज़्यादा cutie है, बहुत अच्छी तरह बात करता है, so emotional, so empathetic, he is still a pathetic person looking out only and only for himself. Okay, remember that.
And by the way, there was a question about summer internships. I think summer internships can cover the expenses. So with the PhD, there is this problem that especially for the first year of your PhD, it is quite hard to get the research internship. And if you go for the non-research internship, sometimes it might not be good. It might not be good for your research in the long term, because after the first year, the first year summer is the best time to get your research done. So it might be a good idea to ask your professor about before doing the research, before doing the summer internships, especially in your first or second year. But yeah, later on after the second year and third year, you can get pretty good internships, and they pay really well. Like they pay almost as much as you make throughout the year in 3 months. So if you get research internships later on, that makes the life pretty easy. But yeah.
Okay, so in the last 10 or so minutes that we have left, I wanted to ask some very specific questions about how to exactly reach out to professors in terms of what should be the timeline for that, how should you frame that email, what attachments to add, should you add your CV or SOP, anything related to that, and finally how to send a personalized email to different professors in different universities.
Yeah, I mean, देखो अब दो टाइप ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन आ गई, एक लेटर रिकमेंडेशन वाली आ गई, which I feel like we did go over it really well कि आपने ये अटैचमेंट्स करनी है, CV, SOP, कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटीज, वो अलग बात है. जो दूसरी वाली कम्युनिकेशन है ना, depends upon your relation with that person as well. I mean, लोग ये recommend करते हैं, which is obviously a good strategy, is to check with the people you're interested in कि are they even hiring, because सबके पास हर साल बच्चे hire करने के पैसे नहीं होते. ठीक है, तो ये आप basic check in कर लो, and I think that's just a simple email. Just go like, hey, I looked at your website, I really like your work, I was hoping to apply, I was just checking if you're taking students. That's it. Don't expect a response, but you might even get one. ठीक है, ये जनरल होता है. उसके अलावा I don't see why you would want to like reach out to professors, and why would you want to send your attachments. Maybe you can just say that if there's really somebody who you really love, तो उसको आप maybe भेज दो अपनी CV को, like I just submitted an application, I'm so excited to work with you, I'm looking forward to you reviewing my application, please let me know if you have any questions, this is me, you can reach me at, ये कर दो, ठीक है, like just in case somebody you're super excited with. What might be more beneficial other than the whole reaching out to people is see where the Luminites are. Luminites are a good resource. See वो सब किधर है, उनसे पूछो कि आप क्या कर रहे हो. Because देखो मतलब मुझे 3 महीने हुए उधर, I can already tell you a few professors जो शायद students ढूंढ रहे हैं, जिनके पास students उनको और नहीं चाहिए, जो अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, जो गंदा काम कर रहे हैं, I can tell you, right? So reach out to them, see what they're doing, and maybe they can recommend you, connect you to our faculty. Especially इस point पे, I'm telling you, there will come this point in your life where you will not even be sure about what your interests are, what the person whose page you're reading उसके क्या interest है, totally बस interest क्या है, because you'll be so immersed into this you will forget reality, right? So talk to Luminite, see where they are, see if they're willing to have a quick chat with you. Do not waste their time though. Get your questions in, ask those specific questions, and quick in and out, right? Do not waste anybody's time. They're going to hate you and remember you forever and ever and ever. Right? So that being said, उनसे पूछो उनके पास professors हैं कि नहीं, what they recommend. Maybe just tell them कि उसकी university apply करना चाह रहे हो आप, तो if they had any advice for you. Yeah, I think these are the only sort of reaching out. I mean, जो reaching out, let's say आप Dr. Sartaaj के साथ कर रहे हो for a recommendation, that level is not something you can do with somebody जो किसी और university में जिसको आप जानते भी नहीं हो. I mean, the only reason I can think you might want to reach out is A, you're either too excited, or B, you want to like ask them if they're taking students, which is good thing. I mean, करना है तो कर लो, मैंने नहीं किया था. I don't even think Harsh किया था. I'm not so sure about Bilal. So yeah.
Yeah, मैंने नहीं किया था. But I don't know, like काफी लोग कहते हैं कि it does make a difference. और शायद करता हो कि like उन्हें अगर किसी ने आपके हाँ मगर एक गिवन ये कि ना उन्होंने आपकी ईमेल रीड की भी है कि नहीं, क्योंकि मोस्ट इंडियंस बहुत ज्यादा करते हैं. इंडियंस का मुझे पता है, इंडियंस तो बहुत ज्यादा अप्रोच करते हैं प्रोफेसर को, रैंडमली लाइक कोल्ड ईमेल्स करते रहते हैं. तो हाँ अगर करना है तो आई वुड से कि लाइक स्टार्ट विद योर रिसर्च वर्क, और फिर बाद में नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में ये बता दो कि लाइक हाउ योर रिसर्च अलाइंस विद देयर्स, और फिर लास्ट में आप पूछ लो कि हाँ पूछ लो या बता दो कि this semester or this year I'm applying for a PhD program at this university or whatever. तो हाँ इतना उसकी एक टेम्पलेट भी मेरे पास थी. I'm not sure I can send it. I don't think I can send it here. Can I? बट खैर हाँ वो मैं बाद में ग्रुप में भी सेंड कर सकता हूँ. तो हाँ बट मगर ये है कि सुपर इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है वो, क्योंकि हम में से ना मैंने किया था ना जैसे मलिहा ने भी नहीं किया, आई नो अबाउट मुबशिर उसने भी नहीं किया, नुमान अब्बासी ने भी नहीं किया, हम में से किसी ने भी नहीं किया. कोई एक दो होंगे जिन्होंने किया होगा ऑनेस्टली, बाकियों ने नहीं किया. आई वुड से कि इतना डिफरेंस नहीं होता. तो अगर करना है तो कर दो, नहीं करना तो फिर भी कह रहे.
I guess मैंने भी नहीं किया था, लेकिन सिर्फ एक जगह पे कांटेक्ट था, वो भी डॉक्टर फरीद के थ्रू कुछ था, लेकिन यार वो खुद से किसी को ईमेल लिखी थी, because our seniors told us that it might be too hectic for the professors to even read your emails, and they might consider it not a good thing that you are bombarding them with more emails, even before sending your application. So that might not be a good idea.
Piece of advice I might have though is like, if you're really, really, really interested in talking to people, I mean, अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो email करने का, you might want to talk to them. So appreciate the fact that you're a minority, and appreciate the fact that there are just certain people you can begin a conversation with, because you can begin by telling them, oh, I'm a Pakistani and I don't see many around. Yeah, oh, I'm a female in this and I don't see many females around. Yeah, just something like that. It's a very excellent way to start a conversation, and people will continue because they will most likely feel the same way about things. Like, if I were to give an example about UIUC as well, there's a Pakistani professor over here, and apparently he's the only Pakistani professor in the CS department. I haven't met him, but mera bilkul rather to just barge into his office one day and just tell him, oh, I'm a Pakistani and you're a Pakistani as well. How is it going for you? You know, just stuff like that. Like, you should not be so shy asking sort of questions like that, and just reaching out to people based on that fact. Like, okay, fine, you're a minority, but make use of it. Like, no harm, and it's a very, very, very good way to excellence to start a conversation, especially for the females over here. I recently did this at a networking event, like just approach people, because this is something I'm genuinely concerned about. Like, I do not see many females around me, so kahin nazar aati hain, so I do want to talk to them. I met a wonderful bunch of women this way, and it was like really good to like use it. That being said, I don't know if that is what you want to do. Like, I mean, I find it really weird कि कर सकते हो email करनी है, बात करनी है तो कर लो, मतलब कोई मना नहीं है, किसी ने भी मना नहीं करना, कर लो. But I mean, मैंने नहीं किया था, मुझे थोड़ा weird लग रहा है करना भी, but go for it. I mean, if you want to, if you do want to talk, and if you do want to do it. Yeah, Raksha, we can go with your question.
तो अभी बिलाल ने बात की थी कि उसकी रिसर्च पोर्टफोलियो काफ़ी डाइवर्स थी, लेकिन उसकी फिर भी जो थे सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स, आई थिंक वो सिक्योरिटी या नेटवर्किंग या हार्डकोर कंप्यूटर साइंस डोमेन के थे. तो मेरा सवाल ये कि व्हाट इफ हमारे कुछ रिसर्च जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं वो थोड़े इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी हैं और बाकी जो है वो हार्डकोर सिक्योरिटी वाली साइड के हैं. तो अगर हम दोनों तरह के प्रोजेक्ट्स में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो इन आवर SOP शुड वी इंक्लूड द अदर प्रोजेक्ट एज वेल, या फिर उसको हम बिल्कुल ही निकाल दें?
Okay, I just want to give you a brief summary of your answer before I let Bilal tackle it, because I feel like he can do it better. लेकिन ये सीन है कि like I mentioned, आपकी नॉलेज कभी भी टेस्ट नहीं हो रही होती. क्या देख रहे होते हैं कि क्या आपको रिसर्च करने आती है कि नहीं, तो वो तो ऑब्वियसली आप हर प्रोजेक्ट के थ्रू मेंशन कर सकते हो. बट वंस अगेन, यू नो दैट यू कैन प्ले विद योर वर्ड्स, राइट? तो अगर लेट्स से अगर आपके सिक्योरिटी और HCI में यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर एन HCI प्रोग्राम, तो मेक श्योर यू आर मेंशनिंग मोर ऑफ द HCI पार्ट you did. But that being said, do not ignore the other one, because that will show that you know how to do research. And I feel like there's no harm in mentioning multiple research projects from different fields, because A, they all show that you know research. B, they also show that you are determined to work on what you want to work on, because you've already had experience in working on different things. Yeah, I think I'll let Bilal take over now.
So I guess like again, what Maliha mentioned is it is all about playing with the word. So you might think that the projects that I was working on were quite on the hardcore side of the computer science, but mostly they weren't. They were just a part of this security. But when I was thinking about them at the time of writing the SOP, I thought that a lot of them were just simple script writing and stuff like that. And the kind of the work that goes on into the operating system community, or like the hardcore systems community, might be quite different, or might be much more rigorous as compared to that. So first of all that, and then if you have like done interdisciplinary work and some hardcore work, it would be a good idea to first like highlight the hardcore work that you are doing, because if you are applying for a hardcore PhD program. And then when you are talking about your interdisciplinary work, focus more on how the research problems that you are facing, you solve those problems, and how much impact you created. Because at that point, you are basically just emphasizing that not only you have worked in the hardcore domain, you have also good experience of dealing with research problems in like different fields. So it is always a good idea to emphasize how good of a researcher you are, instead of just being like that I can code in C, and that a lot of people can do. But actually solving research problems and thinking critically, that is something that you can prove by showing the other interdisciplinary projects as well.
This other thing I want to generally add is the fact that all of this applies to a situation where we are assuming that you are not incredibly passionate to die for about one topic. If there is just one problem that you know you want to work on, जो ऐसे लोग exist करते हैं, common नहीं होते हैं लेकिन exist करते हैं, who know what they want to work on, who already have ideas and who already are thinking about it, then make sure you mention a lot of that in your SOP as well. I feel like it would really, really, really help your application. Because ऐसे लोग होते हैं who already know what they want to work on. Yeah. पर ज्यादातर नहीं होते तो वो भी सीन होता है, मतलब don't feel shy या don't feel demotivated कि you don't know what you're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
I guess all of us are right now in the at least I am as well in the exploring phase of my PhD. So yeah, it is fine to try out different things.
यहाँ पे आपको पता है ट्रेंड होता है, like literally जिस प्रोफेसर के साथ मैं काम कर रही हूँ, एक फ्रेशमैन अंडरग्रेड का उसके साथ आके काम कर रहे हैं. That freshman already has a publication which they published in high school. So यहाँ पे ट्रेंड थोड़ा different है, तो I think it's always good to like reiterate yourself कि this is what I'm competing with. And no harm in like exploring. मतलब आप देख लो अगर वो हाई स्कूल में उसने पेपर पब्लिश भी किया हुआ है तो उसके पास कितना एक्सपीरियंस है, and वो मतलब पैदा होते ही उसको पता नहीं था कि मैंने सिस्टम्स में काम करना है. He went here and there and it's okay. मतलब जो वो हाई स्कूल में कर रहा था वो आप undergrad में कर रहे हो, which is the right place to do it. I mean, better undergrad than PhD, right? So there should be no harm in telling that you're exploring. It's okay. It's a very wholesome answer, I would say.
Like I am also mentoring an undergrad student, and he is working on Linux kernel as well, and he has just started to fiddling with the stuff. But probably by the junior year, or at least by the senior year, he will have a publication in like a top-notch operating systems conference. So the thing is that you have to think about this stuff. That the thing going on for us is not that we are at a much higher level as compared to all these other people, like all these other Chinese people or people from MIT. What the advantage that we have is that we are having a progress. We are accelerating in our field. We are showing progress that is better as compared to those people. We might not be right now at a level that is equal to them, but we are progressing, and that is, I guess, what we should focus on in our SOP as well.
One thing again about the PhD is the fact that it is not at all okay for you to compare yourself with others.
Yeah.
हमेशा अपने आप को देखो, अपनी progress देखो, अपनी achievements देखो, and see if you were a better person in your work, in your personality since yesterday, right? PhD is a marathon, it's not a race. I've heard this sentence a million times. I even am considering printing it out on like those glowy neon lights because that's how many times I've heard it, right? So always make sure you know that, like, everybody works with that assumption over here, okay, you are your own person, and it's unjust of you to compare yourself, like I said, to that high school student जिसकी publication हुई है during freshman year at undergrad, right? You do not have to compare yourself to him. Like, it's good to get inspired by him, to maybe learn the things here and there, but I think one thing, you should really be easy on yourself during this process, because this process is the beginning of your PhD journey, trust me, is be forgiving on yourself. It's okay for a lot of things that are okay. Like, yeah, just do what you have to do, make do with what you have, don't stress out, be nice, eat well, just do nice things, like, be okay, you'll be fine. Like, yeah, I mean, if you guys ever need help or something, me, Haris, Bilal would be happy to share our emails, and we know so many more people who would have loved to have over here, but you know, people are busy and stuff. But yeah, definitely, like, you can share our emails and like reach out, and you have resources, use them, but do not be mean to people, do not waste their time, because I swear, if somebody wastes my time, I will hate you. I will remember your name, I'll talk about you to all my friends, and I will tell them to never, ever, ever talk to you. So don't do that to yourself.
Okay, so now that we come towards an end of our session, I would like to thank all of our speakers, Madiha, Bilal, Haris. You guys took time out of what I'm pretty sure is a busy schedule. You guys, you walked us through the entire process of writing the SOP, and you were really detailed, very organized. You gave us some great advice to consider while, regarding the letter of recommendation as well. I also hope that this was a very helpful session for everybody present here. And once again, I would like to thank all of our speakers for this very insightful talk. And yeah, so that's the end of our session.